Disclaimer: we are unqualified and unapologetic. We are not professionals, just married. Take what works, leave what doesn't. Let's do this.
Sessions and lessons unscripted. The mic crackles, truth unrestricted. Voices raw like alleys at midnight. Spitting fire, no filter, just insight.
Hey, guess who it is? It's Joel, host of Sessions and Lessons Unscripted. And across from me here at the Unscripted Studios, the lovely, the wonderful, the funny, intelligent,
Keep going.
demure,
Yes.
Gloria Rosario, everybody.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Hope everybody's doing great. How are you doing, Gloria?
My allergies are at like 100 today.
Yeah, you don't look too great.
No, that's what I get for cleaning and trying to be organized.
You were very productive today, I will give you that.
I've been productive the last 2 days.
Probably because you are going to be heading back to work.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yay.
nervous about that. I start work next week.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the weekend to kind of get my life together.
Well,
No, I talked to my supervisor. They have a client for me. They actually gave me a raise.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it makes sense to kind of stick around with them.
You do realize you make more than I do.
Haha. Yeah, but
That doesn't mean anything.
no, it doesn't.
I'm still the boss.
That's what he thinks.
Mm.
Yeah, just let them believe what they want. It makes everything go smoother.
So let me ask you, how are you feeling? I mean, it's gonna be weird, right? Because it's not grandma, it's not your abuelita. It's
I know. I actually hadn't thought about that until you just said that right now. Like, yeah, I'm going to work, but it's not grandma.
mhm.
Huh? Well, I guess I'm okay. My grandma's not suffering anymore. She's not in pain. So I'm thankful for that part, But it is kind of I'm a little on edge, starting a new client and getting to know the routines, and it's gonna be hard, but I think I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah, but in a way it's good, no, because you're gonna start getting more, like you said, a routine, and you're gonna, I don't want to say forget, because you're never gonna forget,
Of course not. That's my grandmother.
but forget the bad stuff, I guess. Like, you'll start replacing that with the good thoughts and the good feelings.
Well, I mean, I don't have negative feelings at all.
Well, I'm speaking of like the grieving and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think you ever get over the grieving. I think we all grieve in different forms,
Hmm.
and everybody's different.
Well, not to cut you off, I kind of agree and disagree at the same time, because you don't grieve forever, because like I've been through losing somebody and I don't grieve now. I mean, it's been a while. Time has already healed the wound, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, but I think, and I'm not saying like this is a piss contest or anything, but I think it's different when your spouse dies and when it's your grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, yes, losing a spouse, like I've never gone through that, so I can't speak on it. But it's kind of the same thing, but not really. You know what I mean? Because she raised me, she was in my life, she was like a mother figure. Like I've said this before, you know, she became my second mom. Even though my grandma wasn't all mentally here, I took care of her, for a really long time. And I had a really strong bond with her, and that's never going to change,
Of course not.
But I think when you lose somebody like a husband or a wife, it's different because, you kind of choose your family, you know? And with my grandma, I didn't have a choice. Like, she was my grandmother, regardless of whether, we got along or not.
Hmm.
But yeah, not to compare, but I mean, I still grieve over my grandfather. My grandfather's been gone for a really long time.
Hmm.
I just don't that's not something that I generally talk about or, make a subject out of it. But yeah, there are times where I still cry over my grandpa, and now that my grandmother's gone, I cry for both of them. And it's a normal thing.
I agree with you. It is a little different. Everyone grieves differently. All grief isn't like a one size fits all.
No.
And speaking uh, about myself, my situation is a little bit different because we'll get in these next few episodes and stuff. We'll get more into detail about Glow's backstory, my backstory, and just a quick, like, little whatever on me. I have been married. Uh, my wife passed away in 2016. Uh, the relationship was very controversial, let's just say that. And it was very damaging uh, to a few parties involved. Like I said, we can get into detail in the next few episodes, but um, yeah. So I mean, it's the same but different.
Right.
So, uh, but I'm glad to hear that you're doing better and better and better. And like it sounds like corny and cheesy and cliche and everything that time heals all wounds, but it's true, you know. And I know those out there. By the way, thank you for tuning in and listening. We just kind of got started on, but some people have more trouble than others, and if you're out there and you're going through some sort of loss or some sort of issue, there's no shame in looking for help, even if it's professional help. Sometimes you can't do it all on your own. You need assistance.
No, I think a lot of I don't want to say healing, but I guess what's gotten me through is the medications. We've been kind of messing around with the medications, and I'm kind of glad I talked to my doctor about it. We caught it to the point where it affected me, but not to the point where I was potentially headed.
Yeah,
Because in the beginning I was not functioning very well.
you weren't doing very well.
No, I wasn't. And I mean, part of it is putting the work in, and the other part is asking for help. And then the third part was medications. So, yeah, if that sounds like something you need to do or should do, maybe you guys can look into it if,
Yeah,
going through problems.
no shame in that.
And again, we'd like to remind you guys that we are not any sort of mental
Yes, I am.
psychiatric
I am a
workers.
few credits short of my doctorate, my doctor degree.
Doctor in BS.
Yes, I do have a BS, and that's like 100% legitimate. It's not the kind you think.
No.
Uh, yeah. With all that said, I hope everyone out there is doing well. Um, myself, I'm doing okay. Like, I mean, it seems like I say that every episode, but um, it's funny because I was struggling there, here and there, and with stress and anxiety and stuff like that. And it's funny the past few days, and this is kind of what we were kind of talking about before we cut the microphones on, is kind of changing your outlook, changing your mindset, changing uh, perspective. And they're like, for example, I'm at work, right? Most people, they're like, ugh, I'm at work. And I've been struggling with some stuff at the job, whatever. And I've met so many great people and talked about stuff and, really sat and contemplated things and, you know, really started to kind of, sit down and seriously take a look at what's going on. And the past few days have been actually pretty decent, I'm going to say. I haven't, I've been looking kind of more optimistic than usual. I try to be optimistic, but uh, so, I feel like nothing's bothers me. Like
You're a lot more cheerful.
yeah, like more than normal.
Yeah.
And I'm a goofball already.
Yeah.
She says, yeah. What do you mean, Gloria Rosario?
Absolutely nothing. I'm just sitting here quietly listening.
I'm practicing my BS degree.
Yeah, you are.
No, but seriously, like I just feel, and I mean, everyone has ups and downs, and I'm sometimes you're like, oh, I feel good now. It's gonna something over here is gonna piss me off, which yeah, maybe it will, but for now, I'm turning the frown upside down, and I'm kind of rolling with it. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us out there, and I'd like to hear what other people got to say. Um, I mean, if they get into those moods, it's a matter of us learning how to keep it going. And I suck at it. I'm not gonna lie, people.
Jeez, be honest.
I'm 100%, 110% honest. I suck at it. I'll probably fall on my face at some point. But you know what? That's what's the saying? It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of the stress that we both have had these last few months has just been it's dread. Like that dreading feeling, like gloominess, just
Yes, I absolutely know that feeling.
it's because I haven't been myself lately. You haven't been yourself, and it's just adjusting to things and just trying to figure out like what's the norm now. I think it's a combination of everything. Just
And the weather change.
the weather change. We're still in the summer.
No,
Yes.
no.
It was 74 degrees today and it's October.
Was it today? I
Yeah,
know yesterday was almost 80 degrees.
I know.
Yeah, this is just crazy.
But I just think
Weather
that
just as wishy-washy as Joel Rosario.
yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're calling yourself out. Save
Always.
me the trouble.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just think it's everything being like thrust upon us, and now that we're kind of just starting to regain, that balance. I think that has a lot to do with, both of our moods. I think I've been in a better mood. I'm not 100% all the time, but I'm a lot better than I was, and which makes you happier, which makes me happier. And it's just, I guess, a cycle, a balance thing.
While you were speaking, I was kind of thinking about, what I was just saying about being on this like kind of this high, right? Where, you know, you're smiling, you feel optimistic, happy, I guess is the word you want to use, right? But uh I understand that life isn't always butterflies, rainbows, and whatever, birthday cake. But you're gonna have good days and bad days. But
It's what you make of it.
right, it's like you're in control of this. You know what I mean? Like not everything's gonna go your way. People are gonna piss you off, aggravate you. They're
You're
gonna.
gonna piss people off too. It's a two-way thing.
That's not possible. I don't make people angry or
And you guys
aggravated.
hear me rolling my eyes. Can you hear that eye roll?
The creaking noise.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
those are my
or-
eyes rolling all the way to the back of my head.
That's because they're so dry from the allergies.
No, but seriously, it's a two-way thing. We're not perfect.
No.
I piss people off all the time.
No,
Yeah.
you don't piss people off all the time.
I enrage people.
Oh. Pisses off Joel Rosario most of the time. No, I'm just kidding. Gloria's a saint.
Stop being a baby. You're fine.
So, anyways, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, those moods are great and all, and I've been feeling great, honestly, but it's not gonna. I know people out there, especially people I've met, will jump all over me probably for saying these things
Uh-huh.
because uh you sh- and look, I'm not trying to be like pessimistic, right? Like I'm sitting here like, oh, I feel great, but I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. You know what I mean? that But I'm just trying to be realistic, right? Like you're not gonna be happy all the time. You're not
But
gonna be.
you need to calm down and enjoy the moment and just be in this moment. If you're happy now, don't worry about going to work tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
So you're saying I don't have to go to work?
Not if you don't want to.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get a point, so which is stupid, by the way. But we're not gonna. I digress. We're not getting into that.
No.
But I would like to hear what other people got to say about that. Like, what do you think? Like, you think? Yeah, I mean, I think being in that mood is great, but just being realistic. I guess maybe don't worry about it.
Exactly. Live in the moment.
Right. So what let me ask you this then. I mean, I'm sure this has happened to you, right? You've had a span of a few days where you're just like on cloud nine and everything looks good and life is good and you don't complain, you don't have no complaints. Like I'm sure you've been in moods like this, right?
Yeah.
So what techniques or what you think you would do to continue that?
Stay away from people.
Yeah, I wish I could sometimes. I don't think that's gonna work.
No, but I think one thing that people need to realize and you need to realize is that you have to stop giving people control over your emotions. You know, sometimes I feel like people do things intentionally to get under your skin or to piss you off or to, kind of throw you off your good mood,
Yeah, that is
you
true.
know?
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, Charlie over there is being a dick,
Mm.
his behavior shouldn't have an effect on mine, you know? Because if my mindset is to be happy, accomplish my goals, um, focus on myself, I don't care how Charlie's feeling. That's none of my business. You know what I mean? And I think that's the problem for a lot of us is that we give people that authority and that control to kind of um talk down to us and just take us out of our mood. And it's like, you don't have that authority over me, You have to realize that, you know, you matter, you're worth something, and your happiness comes before anybody's happiness, because if you're not happy, how are you going to make me happy and vice versa? You know, if you're always being a miserable person, well, guess what? That's going to be an issue with me.
Misery loves company, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why we kind of have a good, I don't want to say great relationship or perfect because we're not,
No, it's pretty great.
but taking the time to kind of reevaluate what's going on and refocus and bring it back to you, and to me, and to hold ourselves accountable for how we're feeling, And I think that's important. A lot of, I'm guilty of that sometimes too, I'm in a great mood and then suddenly something happens and it throws me off kilter and now I'm in a pissy mood. And it's just like, for what? It doesn't matter, 3 days from now, you're going to feel different. And, you have to watch yourself because in those days that you're pissed off and you're, on edge, you hurt other people. You say things you don't mean out of anger. You get frustrated. You're walking around stomping, not you specifically, but people,
Hmm.
And it's just like, For what? You're not gonna get that time back. So don't spend your time being in a pissy mood or, letting other people control your emotions. Cause our time here is limited. So make of it what you will,
That is true. A few words stuck in my brain when you were talking: accountability,
right?
control,
Yes.
um, honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be accountable, right? Like it's you control you, how you feel, how you speak, how you everything. Um, yeah, I mean it's a great way to put it because really we constantly give other people power and control. So like if they, give you crap all day and you know it does, makes you feel good, right? I mean, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean?
Right. And, you know, a lot of the times too, I think that when we give other people control, we're so used to getting like trampled on and talked down to that it becomes a norm. And people know what buttons to push to aggravate you and to, get you in a bad mood. And, I can't tell you how many times I've been into arguments with someone, whether it's a relative, a cousin, a friend, and 2 or 3 days later, I'll still be pissed off and angry about the situation. And the other person is like all willy nilly,
Yeah,
happy.
yeah.
And I'm the one left with like the anger and, you know,
What's the saying? It's like you're drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
right. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's why, you have to redirect your thinking to it's not, I'm not going to let this moment of us arguing or being in an argument ruin the rest of my day.
Mm.
Cause then I'm giving you control. And it's like, I don't think so. You're getting what you want from me. And it's not necessarily a positive thing.
All right, Mrs. Rosario. But let me be, I was going to say devil's advocate, but um, is it easy to do or not?
No, it's something you have to work at. I'm still working at it. You know, um, it's something, I guess, you know, I'll talk about this more in depth later, when we get to those episodes. But I was in a situation where I really got hurt and I was, I discovered and saw people for who they were. I found out who was really in my corner, who really wasn't, and who was just wishy washy. From that moment on, I decided that, I'm not going to let people have control over my emotions anymore, because it's self damaging. You're disrupting yourself, you know, and in the long run, is it going to be worth it? You know, and it's just like, I had so many other complications because of this injury, Um, if I got mad, my blood pressure would skyrocket and I would get nauseous and I would get lightheaded and my vision would kind of blur. And it's just like, why am I putting myself through this knowing that I have this head injury that's like totally changing my outlook on life? And it's at that moment where you have like those pivotal moments in life to where you have to decide, okay, I'm worth more than this. I deserve more than that. And like I said, you're responsible, not
Hmm.
Charlie over there, you know, not little Billy. It's you that you're responsible for yourself. And you have to take accountability for that. And it took me a lot to accept my accountability, and not because I didn't realize what other people were doing or saying or just you have to really evaluate yourself and your situation sometimes and you're going to lose people and it's going to suck and it's going to hurt. But in the long run, it's probably one of the best decisions that I've made, to cut certain people out.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's a good thing, right? Because your people are going to stick around, and the ones that aren't going to serve you any purpose kind of fall by the wayside.
Right. It's like the trash takes itself out.
That's a good way to put
You
it.
know, and I'm not calling anybody trash or anything, but walk the
Alcohol,
walk.
I don't care. I'll
Walk
call
the
'em
walk. If you're trash, you're trash.
trash.
But
I will call them trash right to their face. You are trash.
no,
Actually, no. That probably should start doing.
you probably should start telling people a thing or two.
Yeah, guy. Everybody here, she's. I don't know. My thing is, I don't like drama. I care, but I don't care. Right?
Mhm.
But she calls BS on that.
I do.
And why is that, Mrs.
I will
Rosario?
die on that hill. Let me
Okay,
tell
and why is this?
you. Joel and I are we're so similar, but so different at the same time.
Mhm.
You know, I'm more of a just grab life by the horns and make that issue your bitch.
You know, it's no. I like to say that you are almost kind of like a shoot first, ask questions later,
Exactly.
like
Yes.
fix it after instead of preventative.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But why should I have to tiptoe? I I am done tiptoeing. Let me tell you, I was like, when you make a change, people are gonna tell you, "Oh man, you changed."
Mm.
Of course I've changed. Oh, you think you're so much better. I am better. No,
Yeah, that is
sorry.
that's true. It's like and people have told me that, oh, you think you're better than me?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, that's yes.
And it's not like a cocky thing. It's not. It's more like
Yeah, I mean,
I'm changing
I'm
myself.
striving to be better.
Right.
Right,
And
which everyone should do.
the thing is, it's like the longer you keep people that are no good for you in your life, the more you're gonna go through the same cycles over and over and over. And that to me, like they say, that's insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Then I should be locked up.
Yes. And see, the difference between me and Joel is that, that I'm very verbal and very vocal. And it took me a while to get here. I wasn't always like this.
Yeah, but you're not rude.
I'm not rude about it.
No.
But if you come at me with aggression, I will be aggressive.
Mhm.
And it's like when I came into Joel's life, it's like, watch out. There's a new sheriff in town, dude. Like, you're not going to let people walk all over you like that.
Mhm.
Right or wrong? Right? Like you said, shoot first and ask questions later. It's like, no, and the thing is, it's like, you have to see your value.
Mhm.
Like I see your value. And tiptoeing and not being upfront and confronting people and putting people in their spot
Mhm.
gives people the right to just ram all over you. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. It's not how this works.
Right.
It's a mutual respect thing. And if you've noticed, I'm usually not disrespectful to anybody unless they
Not
do
at
it
all,
first.
no.
Unless they do it first,
Mhm.
And it's like, it's not that I'm thinking that I'm better or anything like that. It's just I've matured.
Mm.
And some people will never reach this maturity level. And the older I've gotten, the more I see things for what they are. And it's just,
That is very true. I agree with that. Yep.
right. So, yeah, tell people to F off, don't be scared to, and if that person really loves you,
They'll adjust.
they'll adjust or
Yeah.
either GTFO,
Yeah. Very true.
So I don't know. That's just me babbling. I could just be talking out of my butt, but
No, you're making very valid points. Super valid. I know for myself, I mean, you talked about like repeating over and over and over. And that's one of the maddening things about myself. We're talking about turning those frowns upside down. And I have issues with that. I still do, I guess. I'm a lot better than I used to be. I'll say that. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Even though Mrs. Rosario thinks I'm pretty perfect, but that's besides the point. Anyways, but no, in all seriousness, it's like Look, guys, I'm human, right? And I'm not the kind of guy that likes to make excuses or anything like that. I do have issues that I need to address. And I'm pretty sure there's some people out there now listening to us. Joel, what the hell? Like, hurry up and just fix it. You've talked about it before. What's going on? I admit it. I mean, I procrastinate with certain things and I just kind of. I've touched on this in a past episode where I live in two worlds, right? I live my home life, which is great, right? I love being home. I love spending time with Glo. I love, you know, joking around. She makes me so happy. We joke around, laugh all the time, whatever. And then and I leave here and it's like I
Dun 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 dun.
speaking of turning Frown upside down, I try to take that happiness and that good mood and all of that with me and just down the toilet. And it's like it comes and goes, right? It's like a roller coaster. And then I live the outside world where it's not always great and it's like very challenging and it tests me from all day every day.
Right.
Then again, I come back home and all of that goes away
Right.
because I don't got to deal with it. But I myself, and I'm just speaking for myself, and I'd like to hear from you guys. I got to get better at it. You know what I mean? And I admit that. And the past few days, I've been feeling pretty good. You know, like nothing really bothered me at work. I kind of, even, it's going to sound weird, but like I walk around and I feel like my chest is out and my head's up.
Yeah.
Like I feel okay. Like this is not so bad. It's not as bad as I think it is.
No.
You know what? And normally it isn't, right?
No. And the thing is like you have to realize that the stressful moments are momentarily. Like they're momentary moments in your life. Did you really have a bad day or did you have a bad moment?
That's very good.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like if you had a bad moment, go breathe it out. Take, do your breathing exercises, sit down and chill for a little bit, grab a cup of coffee,
You know, I have started to do that. Maybe that's what's helping me out because there's times where, my anxiety and the depression, whatever, and I get this pressure in my head, and I just get up from my desk, and I go walk to the other side of the building, or I, go out in the warehouse or do whatever. Just get up and move. Don't stay here.
Right.
And it does help me a little bit. But again, it's like you have to be proactive.
Right. Remove yourself from the situation.
Yes.
I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
And I know it's weird, but sometimes I'll sit in the car for 10 minutes before I walk in,
Mm.
And it's not me like not wanting to come home. It's me wanting to detach from whatever BS I'm dealing with out there.
Yeah, you're just leaving it outside.
Right. Whether I'm sitting in my car or listening to music or just talking to myself or just playing some stupid video or whatever.
Mhm.
I always give myself that time. I've told you before, I stop at the park,
Yes. Watch the squirrels.
watch the squirrels or just people watch or, whatever.
Hmm.
Close my eyes for 5 minutes. And it is like the best thing you can do for yourself before you come home.
Yeah, I usually do that too, where I sit in my truck and I just give myself a few minutes and just kind of breathe.
And just kind of give yourself that time to separate yourself from, things that are not necessarily important at home,
Hmm.
And I think that's really, really, really important. But that's just my view. What do I know?
You are a very wise person, Gloria Rosario. You're not giving yourself enough credit. She is bright,
I just know how to BS. That's all.
and I am sharp as a marble. For those of you out there, marbles aren't sharp.
No, they're round and smooth.
Anyways, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I've been feeling pretty good. I'm trying not to like, and you self sabotage, right? I guess that falls under that category,
Oh, I'm
right?
famous for that.
Oh,
Self-sabotaging is my forte, let me tell you.
yeah, for sure. I mean, me too, but that's that's something we got to learn how not to do, right? Self sabotage. Like, why would you, if you're feeling good and you're optimistic, hey, this sucky job isn't so bad. I just do my time and go home.
Right.
I mind my own business. I go home. I don't listen to the drama or let it go in one ear out the other. So, why is it that we let just, why does it go away? Why does that?
Listen, excuse me. Work is to make money and come home.
Yes, I try to tell people this.
Whatever happens with coworkers, who's sleeping with who's
Oh,
dating who hates who likes who hangs out with what, I don't care. It's none of my business. My business is to come here, work my little 8, 10, 12, 14 hours, however long my shift is, clock out and go home. If I happen to find one or two people that I can get along with, great. And if not,
which isn't unheard of.
no. And
Because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, your work people aren't friends," which I get that, but I mean, you sometimes you click with people at work.
that doesn't necessarily mean they're your friends or acquaintances.
Oh, we kind of
Because
talked about
we've
that.
talked about that, you know,
Yeah,
because people will throw you under the bus real quick, fast, and in a hurry to save themselves, let me tell you. You know,
absolutely.
so I guess that's what a huge positive of like my line of work. I don't have coworkers I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, lucky you, right?
Yeah.
Are they hiring?
Yes. Actually, they are.
I don't know if I could be a caregiver.
I don't know. Their pay rates are
I,
probably
well, yeah, you make more too.
well, it's crazy because, other places where I, had worked with in the past with my grandma,
Mm,
um, they were like I was barely making ends meet. That's why I had to start my own business at some point.
yeah.
You remember? Yes. And now it's I work for one of the most highest paid companies, which I'm not bragging by the way. It's not.
I would think that things are looking up for you, Mrs. Rosario.
Yeah, it's great. I'm not working full time yet, but it's a step in the right direction,
Hmm.
you know. Um but yes, I'm excited.
That's good.
I am. Excited, worried and nauseous at the same time.
Worried? Why would you say worried?
No, just like I said, it's new.
Mm,
It's a new routine. I'm not ready for it, but I have to move. I don't want to be stagnant anymore.
that is true. And the same goes for kind of the subject we're kind of talking about, right? The whole turn the frown upside down.
Find the positives in it.
Yeah. And I'm the kind of guy too that, and Gloria's like this too, where we don't take things too seriously. I
No.
mean, yes, you do. Like some things you got to take seriously, but like, and I don't know if it's like, you know how some people get uncomfortable and they like say a stupid joke
Yeah.
or they like say something kind of goofy.
Yeah.
That's how I am. Like I try to make light of stuff. And I think maybe it was just a coping mechanism that I've
It is.
developed over the years. Like if something bad happens, I gotta crack a joke or like,
Yeah, I'm bad at that, especially with Joel, because Joel will be talking to me about something serious and I'm like bouncing off the walls.
yeah,
He tells me he'll call me out on it though. But at the same time, he's the same way. So it's a give.
yeah. And I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, you know, practice, but at the same time, it's like you gotta be careful that you don't, because I guess there's a line you can cross, right? Like,
Well, with certain people, I mean, the way I talk to you is different than when I would talk to a stranger on the street. I'm not gonna walk up and start being goofy with anybody.
yeah,
But I don't know. It's just stop taking things so seriously.
But thinking about it, it's, I mean, when you're feeling that, that happiness, that high or whatever, that's really what you got to do. Just make light, see, look at the positives.
See, and I think one of the reasons why I have this personality is because I spent so much time protecting myself and being rough around the edges and just, I guess, not fronting like I don't think I'm a strong person.
Mm,
People tell me all the time, oh, you're one of the strongest people. I don't see it that way,
I think you are.
but it's just, I can't take myself seriously. Like, I'm obviously I take myself seriously, but you know what I mean? It's just like, I hate being serious like all the time.
No, absolutely not.
It's just like take a moment to be goofy. Like, why not?
Yeah, enjoy life.
I think a lot of the times, and I've heard this so many times from like my sisters, well, my sister-in-law's sisters. They're all my sisters, you know how I see them.
Mm.
And they always tell me that I give my niece and my nephew the best gifts because I think of the child. And
Yeah, they told me the same thing.
I take that with
I've even gotten threatened by, I'm not going to mention any names. You're probably listening out there.
she knows who she is.
She knows who she is.
No, but it's just like as adults we forget to look at the world through children's eyes. And I'm not saying,
With innocence, I mean.
yeah, and it's just like take a moment to just be a kid again. You know,
Be carefree.
be carefree for just a minute. I'm not saying don't pay your bills, run amok.
No, just like the simplicity of it, I think, right?
And it's just like, I have stupid little things that I do. I collect dumb pens,
Mm.
I'm obsessed with like weird pens and I have a collection of like weird pens and markers and whatnot. And it's just like my mom tells me all the time, like, oh, you're too grown for that. I was like, says who?
Mhm.
Let me be me.
So if you guys ever run into Gloria out in the real world, be careful where you place your pens.
Yeah, I'm a pen stealer, especially if it's a cool pen.
Oh my goodness. There's been times where, where's my pen? And well, there it is.
No, it's funny because even like when my grandma was, at the facility where she was at, um, one of the nurses gave me a really cool pen.
Oh boy.
It wasn't not cool though.
Yeah, it was.
It's cool. And
That's like we went to a dealership. Like when Glow was looking for a car, so we went to this one dealership. She took dude's pen.
I told him, I'm gonna take your pen.
Yeah, she told him flat out,
didn't ask him.
I'm gonna take this pen, and he's just like, yeah, go ahead, thinking probably that we were gonna buy the car. We did.
Well, I did want that car, but they took forever.
Yeah, they
back
didn't.
to
They
me.
never got back to you.
And by the time they did, I had already closed the contract with the other car.
The other one, yeah. But yeah, she told dude that I'm taking your pen.
I didn't ask for it.
No.
You got to take what you want in life at the cost of anything.
Well,
No, I'm kidding, guys.
be careful.
Yeah, don't leave your pens, especially if they're cool.
Yeah, so you just gotta, life's not perfect. We know this. I know this. But you know what? Be grateful for those times, man, where things are going right and life looks good. And I mean, it's like a wave, just ride all the way to, whatever. I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but I mean, what other alternative do you have?
Being bitter and angry.
And miserable, right? And who wants to be miserable?
I don't. I spent a long time being that way, and it's
Yeah, I was too, and it is not. That's no bueno.
although I still have my moments, like I said, when I'm just angry and bitter, but that's normal. We're humans, It's part of being life. It's part of being alive.
All right, Mrs. Rosario, we're heading towards the end of this episode. Tell me something that, like, makes you happy, brings you joy, makes you smile, puts you in a good mood.
Just one thing.
You can pick whatever.
Obviously being home with you,
Mm-hmm.
my animals,
Mm-hmm.
collecting my pens.
Wow, that's not weird at all.
Uh, I'm a simple person. You are so lucky I'm not into like expensive purses or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just enjoy everything. And I've said this before and it's going to sound like, well, whatever. Just get over it. But honestly, the thing that kind of sticks with me about my grandma is to savor every single moment of your life
Mm-hmm.
because it's fleeting and you don't know if the same people are going to be here tomorrow or not.
Life is short.
Life is super short.
Mm-hmm.
We never think about, the end and when, we're eventually all going to head that way. But that's why you need to just savor everything,
Right.
Savor that piece of cake, drink your coffee, savor that tea, whatever makes you happy. Take those couple of moments for you throughout the day. You're not being selfish. Be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be selfish sometimes.
I like the way you just said, just savor all of that stuff. Like maybe that's one of the keys to get
That's my
to
biggest
continue that.
that's my biggest takeaway from my grandma and spending all that time with her.
Mm-hmm.
Savor every single moment because it's fleeting. You know, Even if it's just a stupid piece of cake or whatever, just savor that moment. Don't worry about the calories. I'm not saying you sit there and eat a whole cake, but don't get so hard on yourself over the little things in life, you know, because once those big things hit in life, you're not going to know how to handle it. You need to be able to kind of sit down, breathe, and recoup your thinking.
And then someone had told me recently, I mean, you do the hard stuff and then things just become easier.
It becomes a habit.
Yeah. And it's very true.
It is.
Yes.
I can attest to that.
Amen. Gloria.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can visit us on the website. It is sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com. And you can drop us an email if you have any suggestions or, like I've stated before, complaints about Gloria. That would be
You know where you could stick that complaint.
in the complaint box.
Yeah, right here.
Sessionsandlessonsmail@gmail.com. Don't forget the socials: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Niner.
Wherever. We're available for streaming and downloading across all platforms, so just look for us.
Yes, and you will find us.
Yes. And just in case you don't feel like dropping us an email, you can always go down to the drop-down menu at sessionsandlessons.com and go to the drop-down menu and you can leave your comments there. We'll read them and eventually get a hold of you.
Yes, we will engage. And guys, again, thank you for listening. We do appreciate every one of you. Well, one of you. No, just kidding. We do appreciate you. Please spread the word. Let people know we're here in podcast land. And anything to add, Gloria Rosario?
No, because I have to sneeze. Have a good one, everybody.
All right, bye. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.